Schedule B. Shall we start?
Okay, a very good afternoon to one and all. My name is Tessin Jacob, Assistant Professor from the Department of Computer Engineering, GC. I would like to use this opportunity to throw some light on decision support systems. That is, how do we create a data warehouse using ETL technique? Okay, the main aim of my session is to help you identify the main components of the computing process. Okay, understand the process of extraction, transformation, and loading, and understand the process of performance report generation from a given data warehouse. Correct? Now, if you take any computer application, any process, any program, anything related to your computer, there are mainly 4 parts or 4 sections to any application. For example, what application am I talking about? Like a Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, the games that you play, correct? Antivirus programs, Internet Explorer, anything that you take, it has 4 major components to it. The first main component is your data, that is your input to the program, correct? What data are you feeding into the program? Once the data is fed into the program, the next step is the computer will store that data, correct? Either temporary storage or permanent storage. Once the data is stored, the computer will process this data, correct? Now these 2 steps can happen interchangeably. The computer can first process the data and then store it, or you first store the data and then process it, correct? The final outcome of this process is your output, that is your information, correct? So data goes into your computer, into your program, and what you finally get out is your information. Is there any difference between data and information? Yes. What's the difference between data and information? Data, information is nothing but processed data, correct? The data which is going in the first part is your raw data, correct? And after your computing process, what you finally get out is your information, correct? So any application that you take in your computer system, for example, my Internet Explorer, what is my input that I'm providing to it? The URL, correct? I'm typing the website name into it. After that, the computer takes in the URL, does some process, does some network calls, and what is the output? The web page, correct? So any application, your antivirus program or the gaming application that you have, you use keys, correct? That gets processed, and what you see as an output is your game running, correct? Okay, so that was about the computing process. Now, data is considered as a very valuable asset for any business applications, correct? For any business that you may run, data is considered as a very valuable asset. Why? Data can be used to make critical business decisions, correct? If you are at the top level management, data is considered as a very valuable asset. Why? Because we make use of this data to come up with some very important business decisions, correct? For example, I would like to give you a very simple example which may be quite obvious to many of you. Suppose you are at the top management level of a soft drink company, let's say Pepsi, okay? If you are at the top management level, and you have to make some crucial decisions, correct? The sale of Pepsi, sale of soft drinks will be higher in your summer season or in your winter season. Sale of soft drinks would be higher during your summer or during your winter. During summer, correct? Why? How do we know that? But how do we know that? You analyze your existing data, correct? Existing transactions or existing sale of your soft drinks. Using that data, you can analyze the data, gather knowledge, information, useful knowledge or knowledge discovery, and you come up with this conclusion, correct? Now suppose you have to make a decision of launching a new soft drink in the market, correct? I want to launch a new soft drink product in my market. During what season will I do it? In what season will I launch a new brand or a new flavor of my soft drink? Obviously in my summer season, correct? I will be launching my new product or my new soft drink in my summer season. Why? Because the sale of soft drinks is higher during my summer, so the chances of success of my launch will be greater, or there's a greater probability of success if I launch it in my summer season, correct? So these are the kind of crucial decisions which you need to take, which you may need to take at a high level management. The decisions that you take today determines the fate of your company tomorrow, correct? How your company will fare tomorrow is based on the decisions that you make today, correct? So this is where your DSS comes into picture, that is decision support system, correct? Decision support system is nothing but you try to make use of your existing data in order to come up with market trends which will help you to make better decision judgments, correct? So traditionally you had something known as market research, where you want to launch a new product, you go out into the market, find out what the market needs, and then you come and make a decision, correct? That was the traditional approach. But today what are we doing? You make use of the existing data, correct? Your past records, your past history, what you have, you make use of that, analyze that data, extract useful knowledge from it, and then you go ahead and make your decisions, correct? So the main component over here in your decision support system is your data warehouse. Okay, what is the data warehouse? Does anyone know what is the data warehouse? You all are clear what is the database, right? For example, let's take an example of Big Bazaar. There are multiple outlets to Big Bazaar all over the country, correct? Each outlet will have its own database. But what is my requirement as the owner or at the management level of Big Bazaar? I want to derive information. That means I want to get a conglomerate of all these databases. I want to collect data from all these multiple sources and put it into one central location, and that central location is called your data warehouse. Data warehouse, correct? So how do we construct or create a data warehouse? There is a very popular technique known as your ETL technique, or your extraction, transformation and loading technique, correct? So it's a three-step process. The first step which states is your extraction process. What are we doing in the extraction process? You are trying to retrieve data from multiple databases, correct? From multiple remote databases, you are trying to retrieve data. Why is this an important or a difficult step? Because your database is very heterogeneous, correct? Some people may use Oracle 10G, some people may use PHP MySQL, correct? Some people may just use flat files, correct? So your database can be heterogeneous, but that is not acceptable for a data warehouse, correct? So when you're extracting data, your extraction function is very important because of you need to link different kinds of databases into one main section. Once you retrieve all your data, the next step is to transform that data. Why is transformation important? Or can you give an example of what kind of transformations you may need? What kind of transformations you may need? For example, if I consider date field at one location, they may save it as a DDMMYY format, correct? In some other place, they may store it as MMDDYY format. In some places, they may use complete text, right? So your date field, we are taking an example of just the date field. It can be stored in multiple formats. None of these is wrong. All of them are valid and acceptable, but these are not consistent. These are very heterogeneous formats, correct? So in your transformation phase, you are trying to convert all of these different formats into one standardized format which will be loaded into your final data warehouse, correct? So that's the function of a transform function, wherein you apply different kinds of transformations. For example, if selecting only certain columns to load, you may not require all the columns or all the attributes of a given database, correct? Translating coded values. For example, some databases may store, for male they may store as 1 and as female 2, correct? But this may not be consistent everywhere. I want my data warehouse, in my data warehouse, all males to be stored as M and all females to be stored as M. So this is an example of your transformation, correct? So there are multiple transformations that you can use. And the final step is to load your data into the final data warehouse, correct? So that completes your three steps of ETL, that is extraction of data, transforming of data, transformations of data to get it into a consistent format, and finally you load that data into a central repository which is referred to as your data warehouse. So this is an overall picture of your ETL operation used to create your data warehouse, correct? You have your different heterogeneous data sources, you perform your ETL functions, create it to a data warehouse. Now what is the use of my data warehouse? I can make use of this data warehouse to generate reports, correct? What kind of reports would I be generating? For example, as the owner of Big Bazaar, I may want to know what is the highest selling product in the state of Goa, correct? I may want to know what is the highest selling product in the whole of South India. I want to know what is the highest selling or the lowest selling product in North India. Obviously, it's not the same, correct? What may be selling in South India may not be selling very much in my North India, correct? So the data is different. So this is the kind of reports which I want to generate. Then you have other concepts like drill down, roll up, drill down, where it can go from a large area to a smaller area, correct? South India, take up one state, Kerala. Within Kerala, you have multiple districts, correct? So the roll up and drill down operations can be performed. So that's what we call it a reporting engine, wherein from your data warehouse, you extract reports or you extract knowledge and you present it in the form of dashboards, ad hoc reports, printed reports to your user. Who's your user over here? Who's the user over here? The owner, the management, or the people who have to make a decision, correct? So this entire process of ETL, data warehouse reporting, is what we refer to as BIPM. Okay, it stands for Business Intelligence and Performance Management. Okay, very popularly known as just BI, Business Intelligence and Performance Management. Yeah, that's right.